Emily. I have a really beautiful winter fall makeup tutorial for you today. Super deep vampy lip, gorgeous, simple, smoky eyes, super blown out, super easy. You don't have to be professional to execute this look and make it look awesome, I promise. I know this look is really dark and maybe a little bit intimidating, but I honestly feel like it's very feminine at the same time, and I feel beautiful wearing it. So I hope some of you out there will feel the same way and you will try this look out. So if you want to see how I achieved this look, then just keep watching. So the first thing I'm going to do is prime and prep my skin. You can see I have some breakouts going on right up here, and I also look really tired because I've just been doing a bunch of stuff lately. So to do that, I'm first going to use my NYX Hydra Touch Primer Base. I just put a little drop of it on my fingers and then I just rub it in. This stuff is so hydrating and soothing. I've used this a few times in videos before, but this just smooths over like a layer of water over your skin is really what it feels like. To fill in my pores, I'm going to be using this Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. This stuff is fine, but I personally like the Benefit Professional a little bit better. I feel like it helps fill the pores just a little bit more. So again, I just put a drop on my fingers, rub it together, and then I smooth this over the largest pores on my face. So that is definitely my nose and right around my nose, center of the forehead, and then the chin. Before I do my foundation, I'm going to do a little bit of concealing using my IT Cosmetics Full Coverage Anti-Aging Concealer, you know, for this area right here. For this, I just put a little drop on the back of my hand, and then I'm using a little detail brush. A little bit goes a long way with this, and I'm just going to go in and tap it over those, those areas of concern. I'm very concerned about them. Now, I honestly don't worry about blending this out because this is going underneath my foundation. I'm just looking to cover those as much as I possibly can. This will make concealing a lot easier later. For foundation, I'm going to be using my trusty Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation in the shade 2C3 Fresco. This foundation is great because it leaves a nice matte finish, but it's also not super duper matte. It's a little bit more of a satin matte. So your skin looks very fresh, very skin-like, and you can still get like incredible coverage with this stuff. The look I'm going for today is definitely more of a matte look. We're going to highlight, but the skin overall, I want it to look matte. So now I still have some of this concealer from before on my hand. I'm going to go back into that, go over my bumps, again, my red spots, and just conceal those one more time. And then I'm actually going to just take some of the foundation just on the very lip of the bottle and then mix that right on top of the skin. And this is going to allow me to achieve a really seamless coverage over these blemishes. Then I just like to tap out the edges using a beauty sponge, and this one is by Real Techniques. It's my favorite. Alright, foundation is on. I'm going to go back in with my IT Cosmetics concealer and highlight under my eyes. So I first just put this on with my ring fingers and I warm it up in between my fingers first before I even apply it to the skin so it can melt in. And then by tapping it and pressing it under the eyes first, you're warming up and melting the product like directly into your skin. That's going to give you an even more natural look. Then again, I'm going back in with my beauty sponge and just tapping that out. Oh, this feels so good because the water in here is cool. Oh, my eyes definitely, they're very puffy. I've been sleeping a lot the past 2 days, but I've had a really busy week, so I just haven't recovered yet. So that is looking good. Before I move forward with any other cream products, I'm first going to set my under eyes using my Be a Bombshell Cosmetics Smooth Criminal Powder. I'm using a Morphe 501 brush to do this. I just tap the absolute lightest little bit on the brush, and I just look up and set the under eyes so it doesn't crease. Next, I'm going to prime my eyelids using my new favorite. This is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. This is so amazing. I can't believe it took me so long to actually discover this. Don't put too much on. You just need it to cover your eye space really thinly. And I just like to smooth it out first and then just tap it so it blends. Then to give my lids just a tiny, tiny bit of coverage, I'm using this Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This is in the shade Medium, and I do literally one like little pat on my lids. Blend that out with my ring finger, and then I'm going to go in with my beauty sponge. And I'm going to set my lids using the same Be a Bombshell Cosmetics Smooth Criminal Powder. Before I set my entire face with powder, I'm going to go in with this ColourPop highlighter in the shade Monster. It is so gorgeous. I know that it looks pretty much just white in the pan, but you can see a little bit of a pink reflect to it. So I've been playing around with this a lot more, and so far the best way that I've found to apply this is with a dense little brush here. This is fluffy. And I'm just going to put this over my cheekbones. To set my entire face, I'm going to be using this NYX HD Studio Photogenic Finishing Powder. This powder is super duper thin, so it's not going to make your face feel heavy or cakey, but it does mattify beautifully. I'm going to contour lightly using my Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette. This is my ride or die. It's so good. I'm going into these two shades right here to sort of create the perfect contour shade for me, and I'm using like a angled brush. I'm not going to go for something super duper intense here. With contour, just make sure you're always blending upward. That is the key to keeping you looking nice and sculpted rather than making your makeup look muddy. Along the jawline. And then using a smaller brush, I'm going to contour my nose. For the brows, I'm going to be using my absolute favorite brow product. This is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer, and I am in the shade Brunette. First, I'm just brushing the brow hairs up and putting the hairs in place where I want them. Then I literally just start at the front of my brows and flick upwards, doing really light, feathery strokes and quick motions. This is just so easy. With this brow pencil, I actually enjoy doing my brows. Like, I always love the way it turns out. It's always quick and easy. The precision that you get with this pencil is just awesome, and I love the finish of it. I've said it before, but it sort of gives your brow hairs a more glossy finish, so it looks a lot more natural. I want my brows to be really bold and defined for this look, since it's just a very fall and dark look. You can totally get away with doing your brows a little bit more dramatic than you normally would. Alright, the brows are on. I'm already feeling so much better and so much more like myself. And I'm just going to set them using my L'Oreal Brow Stylist Plumper. I know there's no label on here anymore. That's because I use it so much and it is deeply loved. I just basically comb my brow hairs up and into place. So in the front, I like them to go straight up, and then I like to bring them outwards and just follow the natural direction of the hairs. For the eyes, I'm just going to do something really simple but also dark and smoky. So the first thing I'm going to use is my Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour Palette. This is another ride or die. I love this palette so much. But the first thing I'm going to do is go into this peachy tone and then also this light brown, and I'm going to fluff that into the crease. I'm going for a very blown out look, so it can be relatively messy, but all the way from outer to inner corner, just sweeping back and forth, windshield wiper motions, and then circular motions as well to keep it nice and blended and buffed out. Now I'm going to go into this much richer brown color. This has a little bit of warmth to it, but it's a lot more chocolatey. And I'm going to first place this more on the outer corner, but I'm essentially going to brush it all over my entire lid, but this is where you want the most pigmentation. Now I'm just using a cleaner brush and just blending all of this stuff together. Like I said, I just want it to be really dark and smoky and blown out. And we're already almost done with it. It's going to be really simple. Next, I'm going into Makeup Geek Bitten and putting this all over my eyes, focusing it down a little bit more towards the lash line. I love the way these colors look together. It is just so delicious. For waterline and tightline, I'm going to be using Mr. Bing from ColourPop and Kathleen Lights. Oh my gosh, my eyes are watering like crazy. This tickles my eyes so much, and I think it's just a little bit of a stiffer formula, but oh my gosh, That is tricky. For the lower lash line, I'm going to use the exact same colors but a different order of operations. The first thing I'm doing is going into this rich brown color. And I am using a Sigma Tightline liner brush for this. Putting this really close to the lower lashes and bringing it about 2/3 of the way in. Never mind, I'm bringing it all the way in. Next, I'm going into Bitten from Makeup Geek and going in with a pencil brush from Zoeva, tapping this just right on the tip of the brush and going to buff out the lower lash line a little bit, starting at the outer corner, the outer corner, and bringing that one about 2/3 of the way in. Then I'm going to use another pencil brush. This one's from Bobbi Brown. I just needed a clean one. And I'm going into this light brown shade from earlier. And first putting that on the inner part of the eye right here. And then blending all of that out. Then I'm going to go in with a brush that I used from earlier and just make sure that the top lid and the lower lash line, that those areas blend together nicely. I'm not going to use any eyeliner today, but I do want to have a smoldery top lash line, so I'm just going to use the black from the Kat Von D palette on a Sigma Waterline liner brush. This is an E17, and I'm just going to smudge that into my top lashes. And I literally just sort of press and wiggle it in there, however you need to do it. This just sort of makes the lashes look a little bit fuller. And it also, since I'm going to be going in with false lashes, it gives you a little bit of buffer room to just make them look a little bit more natural. For mascara, of course, I'm going in with my Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara, 2 coats top and bottom. The false lashes I'm going to be using today are from Kiss. These are the Camellia lashes. I am going to have to trim them a little bit just because my eyes are a little bit more narrow. Okay, I think these lashes are actually really gorgeous. These are probably my favorite drugstore lashes. However, the band itself is really flimsy, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's good because it is so much more comfortable and lightweight on the eyes, and it's just more flexible, so you don't notice the lashes nearly as much, but it's also a little bit more difficult to apply. It's actually a lot more difficult to apply, in my opinion, so it just takes some practice. I would say this time putting those lashes on was definitely easier than the previous time for me. For blush, I'm going to be using this gorgeous color from Sleek in the shade Pomegranate. It is so stunning. I've used this in several videos before. I'm just going to use a little bit because it is super shimmery and sparkly. A little bit goes a long way, but it is gorgeous and I think it's going to complement this look perfectly. Starting at the back of my cheek, working forward. So even though I used a light hand, I think that's a little bit too much. So I'm just going to go in with a clean, fluffy brush and blend that out to take away some of the excess pigment. For a little bit more highlight, I'm going into my Becca and Jaclyn Hill palette. This is the first palette they came out with, and I'm going to be using Becca's Pearl highlight right here. This is not limited edition, so you can pick this up in a full-size pan. My favorite brush that I have been using to apply highlight with lately is my Bobbi Brown Eye Blender brush. It is a really big, fluffy brush. Personally, I think it's too big for the eyes, but it is amazing for applying highlight. So I'm just going to dip my brush into Pearl. And I don't want to highlight this entire area. I'm just going to focus on the highest point right here because this highlight is super duper intense. And I already have highlight underneath it. I just want to add a little bit of a pop and some glow. I'm bringing this down onto the actual cheek as well, just to give my cheek a little bit more dimension. Putting this on the tip of the nose, Cupid's bow. And then I'm also going to highlight my brow bone and my inner corner with this. Alright, so we are almost done. The first thing I'm going to do for the lips is use this NYX Slide On Glide On lip pencil. This is in the shade Dark Soul. It is a gorgeous deep berry tone liner. Alright, once I have that lined, I'm actually going to fill in my entire lip using the same pencil. On camera, it looks a lot more red for some reason, but in person, it's a lot deeper and more of a purple undertone. I'm actually going to go over that color using my Estee Lauder Pure Color Envy Matte Lipstick in the shade Extrovert. This is a gorgeous dark purple. And of course, I have to set everything in place using my Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. Alright guys, so that concludes this makeup tutorial. I love this look so much. It definitely makes me feel like winter is coming. And if you're a Game of Thrones fan, you get the reference. I think this look is absolutely gorgeous, and I hope the dark lipstick doesn't scare you too much, because you should wear whatever makes you feel beautiful. And if you put this look on and you feel like $1,000,000, then walk out that door, put a smile on, and you will have an amazing day. If you like this video, please click that like button down below and give me a big thumbs up. And also, if you don't want to miss another video in the future, please hit that subscribe button so you can join my little YouTube family. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye!